Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am your host, the Yellow Brick Rabbit, and today we finish our Wonder Woman series with Part 4. As always, I'd like to preempt this by saying that I did enjoy this movie. It was an alright movie. I recommend you go watch this movie before watching this, because this will ruin the movie for you. It's full of spoilers, and all the spoilers. You have been warned. So without further ado, let's get on with it.
Marriage?
Mary, do you not have that down at you? You go before a judge and you swear to love, honor, and cherish each other until death do you part.
First, I want to say that it's ridiculous that Diana doesn't know what marriage is. You have marriage in ancient Greece. There's absolutely no reason that she wouldn't know what marriage is. But furthermore, it's absolutely absurd to suggest that a man from 1918 would describe marriage as going before a judge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would have described it as going before God, or a priest, or a pastor, or a church. But I guess they didn't want to have that discussion. So from that, I'm going to take it that he's an atheist then. So we have an atheist and a demigod daughter of Zeus in the middle of 1918 England. And religion does not come up in this movie. This clip is merely to establish what happens when Diana is launched into a wall or jumps into a building. We're doing this for context in the next scene. So that's what happens when she touches a church? Overkill much, Diana?
Habt ihr das gesehen? Habt ihr das gesehen, was er gerade Qu'est-ce qui se passe? J'ai rien vu.
Yeah, I saw what she did, dude. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, in one hit, she managed to do more damage than 4 years of war to your town. Like, whoa. Oh, no, they're clapping. Apparently happy. Yeah, no, that's great. And if we hadn't need out before, and now Wonder Woman stands triumphantly with the sun behind her, replacing the church as she looks down upon the people praising her. If you want to use symbolism like this, you may want to have a discussion at some point in the movie that deals with what you're actually symbolizing here. So that people don't get the wrong idea, maybe.
She was right. My mother was right.
Wait, your mother was right? Wait, what? About what? About what exactly was your mother right? This comes right after you kill Ludendorff and realize that he's not Ares and realize that people have their own free will and sometimes make bad decisions and do bad things. Which you would think you would know being as old as you are and as well read as you are. Your mother and the other Amazons are the ones who taught you that Ares was responsible for the hatred in men's hearts and war. You are now facing a crisis of that belief, and your first reaction is that your mother is right about something.
She said the world of men do not deserve you. They don't deserve our help.
It's not about deserve. It's not. Maybe we don't. But it's not about that. It's about what you believe.
And since it's the realization that people do bad things, make bad decisions, and do evil things, and that because of the hatred in men's hearts and whatever, and can't help but notice that the rhetoric has changed this, throughout the movie from mankind to man. But as far as I'm concerned, she's still talking about that poor Flemish girl in the trench, and all those villagers, and all the people back in the town as well, because she's struggling with the decision to help all of them. But the other thing her mother taught her is that Zeus sent the Amazons to show men love and bring peace to the world. So if men's hearts are filled with hate and rage and all of these things, then it seems like they need to be shown some love and compassion, and maybe that has to do with your mother's decision to stay secluded on an island and banish anyone from returning if they leave the island. Because if the Amazons were sent with that mission, they are ignoring that mission.
You don't think I get it after what I've seen out there? You don't think I wish I could tell you that it was one bad guy to blame? It's not. We're all to blame.
I'm not.
But maybe I am.
This emotional heart-to-heart moment with strong realizations going back and forth between them is completely and utterly negated as soon as Diana defeats Ares and everyone stops feeling all worry all of a sudden. But there's more wrong with that clip of them talking than just that. First off, the atheist Steve Trevor, who describes marriage as going before a judge, says it's not about deserve, it's about what you believe. But furthermore, let's talk about guilt for a second, because why Steve thinks he is to blame in any way whatsoever for the war is beyond me. After all, he is a soldier who is following orders. He's an American, so he's a national of a country who didn't start the war, and had very little involvement in the war for the first 3 years at least, nor is he his country. He did not decide on this war, he was sent. And he was sent to help an allied nation with a war that was ongoing, and thus how he feels responsible in any way for the ongoing tragedy is beyond me. Diana, on the other hand, has been raised by the Amazons with the story that we know from the beginning about how they were sent to bring love to mankind and restore peace to the world, and with the realization that Ares isn't at fault, but the dualistic nature of man is the reason that things have gotten so out of hand, she does not see the people who are supposed to bring love to mankind, secluded on an island away from everything to not do their job, as in any way at fault for what is going on.
You're wrong about them. They're everything you say, but so much more.
Wait. When you realize that everything your mother ever told you when you were growing up was a lie, your response is, she was right. And now when you have the realization that everything Ares just said was right, you're like, but you're wrong. I'm not saying she should agree with Ares, I'm not saying she should join her, but it's just kinda hilarious. And let's take a moment to point out how nonsensical her realization here is, or at least the response to her realization. For the entire movie, up until the point where she kills Ludendorff, she is convinced that Ares is responsible for the entire situation. That killing Ares will end all of the badness, and that men will be good again, and everything will be fine. And throughout the entire movie, she has absolutely no problem wiping out guy after guy after guy after guy that stands in her way. After the realization that they hold some of the blame themselves and that they aren't all being controlled by Ares, she decides that they don't deserve her help, they don't deserve the help of the Amazons, they don't deserve anything. Then Steve Trevor dies, she goes on a rampage, she gets really upset, she goes super crazy and has even less of a problem taking out guy after guy after. So here's the problem with that. Everything Diana has discovered and learned about the true state of the world and humanity contradicts her action to spare Dr. Poison in this scene. She's learned that humanity isn't being controlled like robots, that they aren't being influenced by Ares completely, that they are somewhat responsible for their own actions and the grief that they bring upon the world. Now yes, she says they're more than that, and she realizes that people are bigger than just the faults in their decisions. She starts to understand what Samir was talking about when he says that, everyone has their own battle. The problem is that Dr. Poison has lost that battle. She is bad. She has chosen bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. She's a maniacally cackling, evil supervillain that is deliberately creating gases of mass destruction because she just loves doing it. At least that's what we get from the film. We never get any conflict that's being presented within her. She never shows any remorse or any sort of conscience about the things she's developing or doing. And the only way they get away with it in the scene is by having Ares constantly goad her to try and kill her, as if it's doing what he wants. When really, she's been one of his most successful pawns for the last, at least 4 years or something. He has a vested interest in keeping her alive. So what? So what is it that allowed her to see that humanity was so much more? Because I just mentioned the bit with Samir, but that isn't actually referenced in this scene, nor is the baby or the ice cream or Charlie or them sitting together and having beer or Steve Trevor talking about people living life when there isn't war and happiness and goodness and the things that we've seen, because they deliberately tried to show the world as this, horrible place that needs the saving of Diana and doesn't have anything good in it, except for ice cream and babies and Steve Trevor, her boy toy.
It has to be me. I could save today. You could save the world. I wish we had more time.
What are you saying?
I love you.
So this is what they do. And no, this isn't her remembering a scene. This is actually even more ridiculous than that. This is a point where she has ringing ears and tinnitus and can't hear what Steve Trevor is saying, and then later, as we just saw, she's lifting the tank, and suddenly she magically recovers her hearing in the past and suddenly can hear what he said, which doesn't make any sense already. Yeah, so what in that scene actually made her realize that humanity is more than there's nothing in it? She's basically saying, my boy toy needlessly sacrificed himself, and now out of spite I'm going to save humanity because screw you, Ares. So I suggest a change. Here is my version of this scene.
Do it!
Thank you.
8 please, sir.
There you go, Todd. Keep the change.
Thank you very much, sir.
What do you think?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You should be very proud.
Thank you very much.
You're wrong about them. And now I know that only love can truly save the world.
Didn't we pretty much start the movie with you being told a bedtime story of exactly that? And you're how old again? So you've been hearing this bedtime story for 2,300 years, and the love saves the world part hasn't been realized by you yet? You know, the theme? Ultimate slow motion John Carter hop. Why? Now we just have the question of can she fly or is she jumping? Which one is it? Well, that's the point of the scene. Why? But I think that's all I've got to say on the matter, so that's a wrap, people. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you have, then please follow the Yellow Brick Rabbit and hit all those little button thingies. Do all the other little thingies that you do for all the other YouTubers. Thank you in advance. And I hope to catch you next time we go down the rabbit hole.